Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Mar and I am the founder of ICU Wellness. I am here at ICU Studio and I'm excited to answer some community questions. And when I say I mean my guides, because all of these questions I channeled. Originally I had asked Instagram to suggest some topics for my next videos, and I got a bunch of different topics, but I could see beyond the topics, and beyond just the topic, right? I could see why those topics were even asked for me to elaborate on. So I decided to check with my guides and channel some information around those specific topics. So let's get started. So the first topic that was suggested was shadow work. Okay, so when I asked Spirit, I have my notes here, so I'll be looking at my notes, just FYI. When I asked Spirit, can you explain shadow work to me? And so this is what they said. Shadow work is simply being curious about the unseen parts of ourselves. Okay? It is doing the curiosity work to uncover the shadow parts of ourselves, the unseen parts of ourselves. So it's no different than, let's say, being in a forest and you see a little cave right all the way over there, and you get so curious that you follow the path to go and see what's inside that cave. And while it might feel scary to enter the cave, your curiosity, and if you have like a light with you, you can go inside the cave and discover crystals or discover a beautiful cenote or something like that. So this is the concept of shadow work, is really, according to Spirit, according to my guides, it is the curiosity to explore the unseen parts of ourselves. Now, however, humans, people have been afraid of the word shadow or darkness, or they associate shadow work with doing really heavy dark work, which it can be, but it doesn't have to be. So it is the judgment. So the shadow work itself doesn't have to be hard. It can be enjoyable if we approach it with curiosity. But if we approach it with judgment, if we hear shadow work and we judge it and we're afraid of it, then yes, we're going to create suffering in that experience, because that is the only blueprint available to us that matches. So my advice, this is me talking, my advice is to call it something else. Call it exploration work. Call it curiosity work. You don't have to call it shadow work if that is triggering something within you. Okay, so human beings, and they're saying human beings are complex beings, and they are afraid of their complexity. And essentially humans are afraid of themselves. They're afraid of their power. So the antidote to that fear is curiosity. So if you or any of you are interested in doing shadow work, switch your belief system around shadow work and like going deep in the underworld, which it can be. It can be, but it also can be a curiosity. Like, I am curious to see what it feels like to go in the underworld and experience these hidden aspects of myself. Okay. They also said that humans, people, humans, I like how they refer to us, humans put a lot of effort in the conscious parts of ourselves and the seen parts of ourselves. We energize the things that we can feel, touch, see, and we ignore things that are hidden from us, that we cannot touch, see, and feel, but maybe we can sense and we just know that they are there. So the more you're curious about your totality of your entire experience, the more you will be able to do the shadow work, right? And do that curiosity work. So if you want to take anything from this, shadow work is really curiosity work. If you're curious, go and explore it. If you feel scared of it, tread lightly, be gentle with yourself. Perhaps instead of doing the shadow work, do some reprogramming and canceling out some limiting beliefs about the shadow work itself. So I hope this helps, and thank you for asking your question. All right, so the next question is how to deal with friendships that are changing once you start growing. So how does one deal with changing friendships when you are on this path of growth, awakening, and ascension and all that? So here's what came through for my guides. There is a tendency in humans to want to carry people or want others to be just like them. And this is what creates the suffering. Okay? What if you don't have to deal with anything? What if you do you and simply take the time to update people on where you are at that moment, on your growth, and allowing them the freedom to meet you where you are or to go their own way. It is very important to know that just because you're growing does not mean that they are not. They might be growing in a whole other way and in a whole other direction. If you feel the need to convert them or teach them, you are out of your boundaries and aren't respecting their free will. The energy by which you approach them is what they're going to react to. So this is very important. It's not necessarily what you say, it's the energy by which you say it. So let's say if your belief is like, well, I'm growing and they're over here, so I'm gonna come from that energy, then that is a very triggering energy, right? Of like, I'm superior, or there's this hierarchy energy to it. So just make sure you're coming from a place of love, and especially for yourself and for them and for the situation. So, or come from an energy of neutrality, okay? So let me find, so make sure the energy is intentional and aligned before you proceed to approach them. Don't assume that they don't know. Just stay in your lane and see what happens. They might match you or decide that you simply aren't matched to them and they will eventually vibrate out of your frequency. But the first step is, and this is your responsibility, is to update them on where you are. So for some of you, for some people, this is a tricky one. It's like a muddy, and I can relate to that. I don't love confrontation, so having to update people on where you are, sometimes it feels daunting. And what you want to do is to simply let them know, like, hey, I am been doing all this work. I've been doing this and this and this, and this opened up this, and I'm feeling this, and I need this type of support. I need this type. So just be vulnerable. Make it about you. Make it about how you've changed and how you've grown, as opposed to what you want them to do to match you. So this is how you don't deal with a change in relationship. You simply allow for the change to go whatever direction it wants to. And if you two align, that's wonderful. And if you two don't align, that's wonderful too. It does not mean you're not gonna come together at a separate time. But your job is to update them on where you are. Your job is to take care of you and allow them the chance to make their own decision. So I hope this helps. The next question is about abundance mindset. So while this is a bit broad, I try to bring it in to explain what is abundant mindset and how to tap into the feeling that something is already ours. So these are two questions actually combined in one. So abundance mindset is a training of thoughts that happens in this now moment. It's about setting your mind towards abundance in every second, every now moment. So a training of thoughts. So this is about directing your thought form and thought energies towards abundance whenever you see them going out of line. So let's say if your mind starts going into lack, you're like, but look at all this abundance. Bring it to facts. If your mind goes array, you'd be like, but look, I am here, I am breathing, I have water, I have a shelter. Life is good. So that's how it is about setting your mind towards abundance. Mindset, setting your mind towards abundance. This is a very active practice that happens in the moment, okay? So you train your brain to seek abundance every moment by noticing and being grateful for what's in front of you at that moment. Very important, very key, in the moment. Abundance mindset isn't about manifesting a specific outcome. That's control, okay? Abundance mindset is about acknowledging all the abundance that you have now, so you send a message to the universe that you can handle more. Because if you can't handle what's in front of you right now, how would the universe trust you with even more abundance? This is important. If you can't handle what's in front of you right now, how can the universe trust you with more abundance? The universe always gives you what you can handle. So understand that this is not a mind practice. It is a felt experience. It is an active choice that happens from the heart. So saying, I'm abundant, I'm abundant, I'm abundant over and over and over again doesn't change if you don't actually feel it and believe it. Do you know what I mean? So this is when the law of attraction becomes a little iffy, because you cannot talk yourself into an abundance mindset. You have to literally feel the abundance in this moment right here in an authentic way. So just saying, but I'm abundant, I have air and water. Just saying that is not enough. You have to actually be in that abundance. You have to run abundance energy in your body, okay? So first you catch yourself, you catch the lack mindset, you catch any lack, thoughts about lack, and direct your mind to see the abundance that's actually here and now. Second, you run abundance energy in your body and you feel it deeply. Now you can do this through meditation, through taking deep breaths, through visualization. So 2 ways you can do this. You can set your day so that it is already, you set the template for your day. Start with gratitude for all the abundance that you have. Or in the moment, if you see yourself going into lack, you come back and you breathe and you give yourself enough time until you feel that abundance energy running through your body, okay? So the other thing you can do is tap into a version of yourself, a future version of yourself that has experienced all that you desire now, right? You now access that version of yourself. You can do this through meditation and see how that version of yourself feels and ask her to run that feeling through your body. So I hope that this is helpful, and thank you for asking your question. So somebody said dreams, and that is such a big topic. That is such a broad question. I was going to skip it, but I decided, you know what, let's see what my guides say about dreams. So I wrote down dreams, what should we know? And they said, this is a broad topic, but I will leave you with this. What if you see life as a dream? It is hard to understand dreams if you don't understand multidimensionality. You, right here, is not the entire you. In a sense, it is a version of you having a dream. No, in a sense, a version of you is having a dream that you are now experiencing. So there's a version of you that is dreaming you, and you are experiencing that. And then you are dreaming another version that's experiencing what you're dreaming. This is very, very quantum. And if it seems a little crazy, just hang with me. These concepts can be hard to explain, but this is why I would say tune into how they feel. So sometimes when you're walking around, have you ever had that feeling of like, I am in a dream, or like you've had this deja vu moment or something like a little glitchy? Well, it's because we are living in a world it's set up like a dream. It's like a game. So we are essentially in a dream. And when we go to sleep, we travel into other dimensions within our subconscious or in the literal other dimensions to get information to help us in this dream now. Okay? So what else did they say? When we wake up in the dream, so this can look like lucid dreaming when you're actually dreaming, going to sleep. When you wake up in a dream, you get to create the dream. So imagine like you're dreaming, like somebody's chasing you, and then you realize that you're dreaming and you wake up in the dream, and technically you're asleep, but you wake up in the dream and you decide to confront them. Then you gain those powers in the dream. You become the creator in the dream, or you start like deciding what happens in the dream and it starts happening. That is a metaphor for what you can do in this dream, in this waking life. That is also a dream. If you wake up and see the nature of reality and see the nature of the world as it is, then you get to create your own reality in this dream right now that we call reality. But it is only a version of reality. So when we wake up in the dream, they said, we get to experience our multidimensionality and access different realms and possibility within that dream reality. So I know this was like very multidimensional, but I trust that you all get it. Thank you, and thank you for asking this question. Next time, be more specific. Somebody asked about spiritual cleanse. What is a spiritual cleanse? So a spiritual cleanse, it is the cleansing of the spirit. It is essentially spirit hygiene. So the cleanse of the body is washing your hair, taking a shower. A cleanse of the spirit is simply something that makes you feel like your spirit is uplifted and lighter. Okay? So you have to ask yourself, what cleanses my spirit? Because everyone has different types of spirit and energies, so they need different things. So what makes you feel lighter and uplifted? When that happens, you know that your spirit has been cleansed and uplifted and raised from the densities that it was before. So this could be a community gathering. This could be a walk in the park. This could be certain foods that you eat, or certain activities, or yoga, or working out. Or it's really unique to each one what makes their spirit feel really uplifted and light. So because spirit is energy, the spirit cleanse or spiritual cleanse is essentially an energy cleanse. So this is back to personal choice. What makes you feel energetically cleansed? You know, for me and for my community, people I work with here, every month we do a cleanse sound bath session. So the cleanse in itself, what cleanses our spirit is the sound healing, the sisterhood, the talking, the journeying. All of that cleanses our spirit and keeps us vibing high consistently. So there are countless of ways to cleanse your spirit, but the most important ingredient, my guides say, is your intention. Because you can go to yoga and with no intention, you're kind of just like, I'm just here to work out, and that's what you're gonna do. But if you walk into a space, you know, like, I'm cleansing my spirit now. This is what's going to happen now. And I'm going to ask for these energies to assist me, call your guides to assist you in cleansing your spirit, then that's what's going to happen. So a spirit cleanse can be as simple as, I am entering in the shower with intention and giving gratitude to the water for cleansing my spirit in this time. So you make that a little ritual and trust that your spirit will be cleansed. So this is all about being curious about what you like, about what your spirit likes, and follow those breadcrumbs and allow yourself to discover what makes you feel lighter and uplifted. And when you find that, then you know that that's when your spirit is being cleansed. And of course, there are some deeper cleanses and things that you can do. I'm just giving you the general idea of what that feels like. Some cleanses are, you know, you're just taking a quick shower, kind of like if you were in the beach, for example, and you have all this like sand and salt all over you, and you know, you take that outdoor shower and it removes the salt and the sand, but it doesn't like really cleanse. So sometimes, you know, sometimes there's that light cleanse, and sometimes you have to go and like literally do a scrub and go to the hammam or like a Korean spa and do like a scrub and take off dead skin. That's a deeper cleanse. So there are many levels of cleanses, but that's really, I just wanted to give you an example. So I hope that this helps, and thank you for asking your question. Someone asked, can you provide tips for observing, cleansing negative thought forms? So can you provide tips for observing and cleansing, clearing negative thought forms? So my guides say, first, curiosity. Ask yourself, where do these thoughts come from? This is part of shadow work. Have I thought these before? And if so, when? When was the first time this thought come into mind? And just being curious and follow those breadcrumbs. This practice is about finding the source. Like, where is this coming from? Is this mine even? So if you track a thought that takes you all the way to childhood, for example, and you realize, oh, that's when it started, then you do the work to clear that thought by doing inner child work, reparenting work, rewriting the story, affirmations, so many ways you can do that work. Now, if you can't find the source, this isn't yours, and it is an intrusive thought that is coming from outside of you, then you can set a boundary with that thought. And you can ask your guides to nudge you anytime it comes in. So if, let's say, something that you've already healed and it's just like not yours, but maybe you are empathic and you don't have clear boundaries, then this becomes really about boundary work. So you ask your guides to nudge you whenever this thought comes into your energy field, and they'll let you know. Like, let's say it's negative self-talk, and it's like you start negative self-talking, and then your guides will nudge you, like they will wake you up and be like, this is happening. So then what you do is direct your energy somewhere else, and you use your free will to divert that thought. Essentially, you do not want to energize anything that you deem not beneficial to you. So if you starve the thought, it will eventually die. It will eventually go away. If you starve it, it will eventually go away. If you energize it, it might keep coming back to get more energy from you. So this is how it works. I hope this is helpful, and thank you for asking your question. The next question is about mourning practices and tips on how to set up an altar. So a mourning practice is any practice that you do mindfully to set the tone for your day. So after waking up, you are literally coming from a trip in another dimension. So sometimes when we come back, when we wake up, we still have some leftover baggage, let's say, or debris from that trip. So what we want to do is align our spirit, body, mind with right here where we are in this reality. So it's important that your morning practice has to do with mindfulness. So this could be yoga, even if it's just 10 minutes. This could be meditation. Meditation, very, 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 very important to bring yourself back to the present and to basically let your guides know, your energies know, your body know that I am here in this dimension. This is how I want to experience today. So let's say another beautiful morning practice you can do is visualization. Visualize your day. So let's say you have like a schedule of things that you gotta do today. You can literally just sit and visualize how you want those to go. You basically set these points in your day, in your future, of how you want to feel, so that your guides know how to direct you and what kind of work to do for you to land on those points that you decide. So essentially, morning practice could be anything that feels delicious to you. But I recommend meditation for sure. And then after that, anything else that you need. So for example, my morning practice is I wake up, I give some love to my partner and my dog. If there's sun, I open the windows, I take in some sun, and then I go into meditation. Sometimes I meditate for 20 minutes, sometimes I meditate for 30 minutes, sometimes I meditate for an hour. It really depends. I express gratitude, sometimes I journal, and I always pull a card, like a card of the day or an affirmation to ground my day. I do visualization, sometimes I do breath work. I don't have a set morning practice. I mean, it is set as in like it's meditation and tuning in. It's an inward work. However, I usually go with the flow of what my body needs. And sometimes my morning practice is to sleep until 10 p.m., 10 a.m., 10 p.m. Haven't done that yet. But, you know, sometimes it's just that. So stay in tune with how you want, what you need, what your body needs. However, if you're beginning in this work, I would say routine is important. So decide how much time you have and break it down to what you want to do, and do that until it stops being fun, and then switch it up. Now, I always do my morning practice at an altar, and this leads me to your next question, tips on setting an altar. So an altar is a space where you do your energy work, where you do your spiritual work, where you do your spiritual practice, and it is a space that holds your practice. So instead of you doing it in random places, this becomes like a sacred space where as soon as you sit, you can pick up where you left off the previous day or the previous time that you did your practice. It also provides a space to drop all this energy work and this spiritual work, so that you don't have to carry it in your body, because your body is also an altar. And so I prefer to drop everything in an actual altar than to carry it in my body, because that becomes heavy for the body. So that's the most important thing about the altar to understand, that it is really a place for you a place for you guys to come and work with you, and so you don't have to carry it in your body. Now, your altar can be as simple as just a little space that has an affirmation or a candle, and that's it. Or it could be as elaborate as you want. So as far as tips, the most important tip I can give you is to follow your intuition and to explore, because sometimes you'll want to do like have a bunch of crystals, and then another month or another time you'll be like, I don't actually want any crystals in here. So understand that altars, just like us, are constantly moving and shifting, and should be moving and shifting with you and how you're feeling. Typically, I change my altar every month, with every season. Definitely seasonally, I do a big shift cleanse of my altar. I work a lot with elemental beings and elemental spirits, so I always have my candles and to represent the fire, water. I have plants and flowers. Sometimes I have crystals, but one thing that I always have is fire and air, and represented all the time through candles and some kind of incense. So that's how I kind of let my guides know, all right, it's time to do the work. Sometimes I put offerings in there, so really there are no rules. So for example, this is an altar and it only has a couple of crystals. You have some products, it has some books, you can have books in there. So you can put anything that you want. But the most important thing is that it feels nice to you when you sit down and tune in. It feels like a sacred space. So that's the most important thing to follow is your intuition. Okay? Thank you for asking your question. So that's it. These are the 7 questions that that you all asked, and I decided to answer that feel more aligned. So I hope that this was helpful to those who asked the question and to those who didn't and happened to watch this entire video up to here. So thank you again for tuning in. If you have any questions, please submit them in the comment section or email them to me, icu.wellness@gmail.com. And if you'd like to book a session, whether it's a clarity session, an energy cleanse, or a healing session, or a coaching session, or a reading with your guides, please go to icuwellness.com and hit me up. And I would love, love, love to assist you in your awakening journey. Thank you so much, and I love you all, and talk soon.